Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nothing's Wrong podcast. And tonight I would like to introduce myself as I always do every night. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Isabel. Make sure you are liking, sharing as we just got in here. And we are not on time once again.
I don't know what's going on. I think it's one of those laggy days where you're just like, what time is it? Oh, shoot, the show.
Right.
And we get ready for the show. And I apologize because I know we have people from all over the world, especially in the East Coast. And I know you want to tune in and watch us and everything, but you're already bedtime. So I apologize because I love to have East Coast family come in and support us.
Right.
But anyways, thank you all for showing up. If you're here, hit the like button. Make sure you share this. Go ahead and follow our social medias. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. And we're there now. And also go check out TDR Network because they got podcasts just like ourselves. And yeah.
Yes, and Tone Deaf already here saying I was wondering where my queens were.
Aww.
Okay. So
We're here.
sweet.
We're here. We made it.
We made it. I'm happy that we're here. We happy that you're here. Yes, check out TDR Network.
Yes.
Everybody, check it out.
Like I was saying, so sometimes we need to get on our time management. Ladies,
yes.
You said 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is now.
I feel like
Pacific
on
time.
women's time, like, I don't know, like, that's the one thing about me that I really do have to work on is like the getting ready part and being on time. Not that I'm not going to be on time, but kind of takes me long to like get ready.
Yeah, but sometimes people don't take you seriously when you don't come on time.
No, I come on time, but I take time to get ready.
Exactly. So definitely.
Yeah.
And priorities is that this is our home. So sometimes you come home and you come whenever you want, and you show up whenever you want. So it's our home. So we apologize when we say a certain time and we're not here, but we're here when we're here. So what's up?
Right.
I did want to talk about tonight. I watched this really nice little show. Yeah, it is a show. It's called The Baker and Beauty. And I just thought to talk about it because it's like, it just shows that a lot of women are very thirsty for men. And it's like, pick me. I'm going to do everything for you to stay. If
you guys don't know what she's talking about, we're talking about a Netflix show.
Mm-hmm.
It's now, I think, number 6 on Netflix. So
she has her deets.
The Baker and the Beauty. And like you said, it is kind of based around that type of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting because the main character, if you haven't seen the series, he basically is in one of those kind of situations
where he's dealing with a woman for about 4 years, and she couldn't, like, that's why I said, pick me. She's like, okay, we've been dating for, spoiler if you didn't watch it, but this is just the concept of what it is. Obviously there's more details to the show, but it's mainly like she's dealing with this man for about 4 years, and she couldn't take it any longer. And she's like, I'm going to propose to this man. And remember, we had another video of Caesar and his girl basically doing the same thing. And they weren't together for a long time, but I have no idea. That's not none of my business. But the moral of the story is, like, she couldn't take it anymore. And she had to make her own decision to make it official and wanted to make it official. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for her because he wasn't sure if he wanted to even see a future with her for that kind of relationship. Mind you, ladies, if you're dealing with a man for about 4 years and he still didn't propose to you, he hasn't let you know what's going on, he is not ready to commit to you. This is not his mindset. You're not the person that he wants to do that with yet. Because eventually men do eventually get out of that stigma of, I don't want to marry anybody, I don't want this, and then actually find the love of his life because they actually were able to
do that with you.
Exactly, because he was never vulnerable with you. And so I seen, like, watching that show as well, as like I seen that him being vulnerable got him to be with, you know, this superstar who's actually in another kind of lifestyle and that he's not used to. And he's also, like, to me, a Dusty, because he's not really working. He's working with his family, which is good. People would say, like, if I'm working with my family business, I'm still working.
Yeah.
What would you think, right?
Of course.
So you wouldn't say, like, okay, well, he's not out here trying hard to, like, you know, create a business and all this stuff like that. And he's just working in his family business, which is eventually going to trickle down to him owning it, right? So, but to me, I'm like, you don't have motivation. I feel like you're lazy and you're still living in your parents' house. It's one thing if you don't live in your parents' house and you're working at your parents' business, their company. But if you're smooching off your parents at an older age, I just feel like that's kind of Dusty to me. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with all this, but just showed me that also, because if it was my son, this guy got a really good opportunity. Like I said, the woman proposed to him and he embarrassed her and said no. And so this is a clip on this is a clip on the, like, if you watch Netflix, this is one of the clips that they show you. So that got my attention to, like, kind of watch it. I was like, let me see what Pick Me is going to do and how this is going to turn out.
I think that was just so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And why do you think that's so crazy?
That she would even do that. Why would you go out of your way to propose to a man who did not propose to you? Like, I feel like there's certain things that go in a certain type of order. And I know we try to be as modern and new age as possible. But what you seem to figure out is that there's a reason why tradition exists, is because that is most likely the best way to do things. Because you got to think about it. It's not that people back in ancient times were closed-minded. They were very open-minded. They weren't, you know, bamboozled with propaganda. They had more time to, like, figure out the world and look at the stars and come up with these ancient teachings and traditions and morals that they pass on from generation to generation that even today, you know, we find them traditional. They have value. And so what we see is that all the things that we try to change in modern society, like women deciding to go and propose to a man first, I feel as though you mess up the flow of, you know, the life cycle. Because in those like, I feel like women, it's like, if she's with you for 4 years, you know she's going to marry you. She's not going to be sitting there questioning, I don't know. So he knows you want to marry him. Yeah. He knows that. He's in this relationship with you just as much as you're going through the flow. He feels it. So if he's not deciding to marry you, I don't think it's time for you to, you know, go and take that plunge, because it's not your place. And you're not able to accept that rejection, which, you know, spoiler alert, she wasn't able to accept the rejection.
No, she went psycho.
And, went complete psycho. And it's like, why would you even do that?
Well, I think the reason why this happens, because she was actually a beautiful woman. Yeah. She had a nice body. Right. And she knew how, and business-wise, when she went to work, she knew how to communicate with people. Yep. And she knew how to get, very ambitious, knew how to get her way. But when it came down to a relationship, she didn't know how to separate all those great traits she had. Right. She inputted it all in her relationship. And so she had no patience to wait for him to, you know, be able to express to her that he didn't want to have that. First of all, they didn't even have boundaries with each other. They didn't even set them. And the new relationship that he had, he ended up putting boundaries. Remember, they said, we're going to be in a bubble. Right. And that's the thing. It's like we never have this situation of like, pick me. I need to be chosen. I need this. Like, this is the man for me, and I'm gonna make sure that I stay and he stays, or she's the woman for me. And it goes both ways, but it's like we really have to take the time to set our expectations and also let people know what our boundaries are and what we'll accept, what this relationship's going to look like.
Right.
Because we're going to be out there looking a mess.
Right.
And then looking like we're the crazy one. Remember, she had to be the one to sit there and talk to her friend and kind of manipulate herself to thinking that he needs more time.
Right.
Oh, I think I messed up asking him now, and he wasn't.
But that's
you know
the thing. What women do, we kind of go back and revisit, because she knew the right answer. After she proposed and he didn't take her back, she left. She was like, she checked him. She was like, you know what? I'm better than this.
Right.
And she moved forward. Okay, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Then she went back on herself and then manipulated herself, like you said, to sabotage herself into going back.
What I didn't understand is that she also, what she did, we're just scattering some information that we got within the show. And it when I watch things, this is what I tell you guys. Like, if you're watching things, are you just watching it to just enjoy the show and just like, hey, this is something to laugh about? Or are you just like actually watching it, thinking about your own reality? Like, oh shoot, this kind of reminds me of me. And I have this response for that person because I'm not that actual person going through that. So it's just, I'm just watching it and I'm like, wow, she's about to do this. She shouldn't even do that. And then it's like, but I only watch TV just to see myself in the situation and then change something about myself and like, oh, okay, well, I think I do some certain things like that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, she also tells the guy, going back, she tells the guy like, all right, let's see each other again to talk about it. Because if you don't show up to dinner, then to me, I know that I should move on. I should like leave this alone. But if you show up, we can work this out. And dude didn't show up. It's like,
and it still wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
Says, you girls look gorgeous. Thank you.
Thank you, Ipperderm.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
tonight.
For tuning in. Make sure you're hitting the love button.
Sunday. So supportive. Thank you.
So supportive. Make sure you're hitting that love button as you tell us all those sweet stuff.
Yes. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing too. I know you always sharing. I love the people who share, because you know why? They say, you know what? I like your content and I think other people should hear it. So it just helps us like have more eyes on here. And we're not just speaking just to speak. We actually speaking because we want you to make a difference in your life just as much as we want to make it in my life.
Because like so many experiences just like that show, but even in real life, I feel like a lot of the time people, women necessarily don't have like the correct tools on how to deal with opposite sex or people or reality. And we get super emotional sometimes.
Oh, so much.
And being in your emotions, making really, really bad decisions. And I've seen it so many times play out over and over and over again. And I'm just like, wow, I'm over it.
Yeah. Of course you're over it, but that like, it's like women sometimes y'all just don't get it. Y'all don't get that a man don't want y'all, even though that you're sitting there dealing with them. And then I just don't get how your ambition is so low, like to just move on or not deal with it. I know I've been there when I was like super young, and I was just like y'all. I was like, it's my way. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care who's telling me the information. I'm doing it my way because this is the way that I want, and no one could stop me. I mean, no one.
Right.
And it was a horrible trait. And I had to say to myself, it's like, you are not making the best decisions. Like, you literally need to start listening to people, because if you don't, it sucks. And you need to see a therapist. And I was watching Black China and her, I don't like reality TV, but I was watching Black China and her mother when they went to therapy. And the way that therapist talked to her mother and Black China. He was like literally took the position of a mother, took the position of someone who wants to hear your heart. You know, some people you talk to, they don't want to hear your heart. They want to hear the logic. Right. They're like, this is logic. This ain't true. This is that.
Or they want to hear the lie. They don't want to hear your heart. They want to hear the lie. They want to hear what's going to comfort them in the moment.
Right.
And I stopped giving that to people this year. I'm going to give them the love, but I feel like sometimes people need to hear the logic and the truth.
I feel that. And at times they do, you know, and it's important to hear both, because if you just hear people just saying, great job, you're doing good, and then there's nobody trying to tell you what you need to fix in your life, then it's just horrible. You're just actually being, I don't know, you're just not going to go farther in your life. And
you just don't have that also push. I feel like I've kind of had that where I was looking more for people to tell me, you know, don't, like, sharpen up, be better. You know, you're slacking here, you're slacking there. I feel like I didn't get much of that. I kind of got more of, you're doing great. And then it's like, that's not that encouraging, because then you don't know when you're getting better. And I remember, like, even when I was dating like somebody like a couple years ago and it didn't work out, and I had asked them, and I was like, so what about me, you know, made you, you know, act this way? And then he was like, nothing, you were great, because he still wanted to get back with me. And I'm like, no, I'm actually trying to learn. I'm
actually trying to get the real
trying answer. To get better. I need the real answer. And he wouldn't give it to me. He's like, no, you're great. And I'm like,
me.
I'm like, oh, can you just like help me? Give me some advice. I just need some advice real quick, so I can like not make the same mistakes and like, you know, continue to.
No, they want you to actually
like you,
right? They actually want you to continue to make those same dumb mistakes, so that.
But as women, you have to be smarter. Like you just have to know that it's you, and having a real conversation with yourself. I know we were talking about this a couple of days ago about having real conversations with yourself. Whether you're just looking at a mirror, maybe you're looking at your laptop on your webcam, and you're just recording yourself, speaking to yourself, and having a real conversation and saying the things that you really need to hear. And it's only you. It's only, you know, you facing you. I really suggest recording it so that you can look back on it and see what you're saying to yourself and encourage yourself. Be the father to yourself. Take on that father energy and father yourself in that moment. And I swear to you, and I'm saying father because I know a lot of the community, especially just in America, there's so many single moms and we're not seeing that many fathers be fathers. So the people who are missing that component, or, you know, maybe your father passed on or anything like that, those things you need to do for yourself. Father yourself, have real conversations with yourself, be true and honest with yourself and saying, hey, this is what you need to fix. This is what you need to do. I've dissected your personality. No bias. I was just observing. You know, we always have a higher consciousness. Yeah. We always know what we would tell other people rather than what we would actually act out in our own lives.
That's what I'm saying. The same goes when they watch TV. Like they're actually they're judging that person. They're telling them, oh, you should have been doing this. You should have been doing that. But I'm like, well,
what about
you should be saying
situation?
The same thing to yourself.
Right.
And I love that you said that, because I actually did that this week, and I actually used the mirror and really had a real conversation with myself out loud. Call me crazy, whatever. But I felt so relief because I trickled down to my childhood traumas and I exposed that and I talked about it and I acknowledged them, and I've never acknowledged them before. And I think that I bypassed those information, and I'm like living through this new journey. And I know that like where I'm at right now is like happiness and great things are happening. But at times, of course, I'm a human being. I get those down moments where you feel like something's missing, something's going on. And I finally talked to myself and had a real conversation and really seen, and everything that I watched and everything that I've experienced, like outdoor people, it's just like confirming more information to me. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, okay, I get this. All right. So like now it's just a different journey. I'm going through a real different journey that's happening soon in my life as well.
And you're going through the journey of like Aang or Korra. You're going through the journey, and these are like anime Avatar series thing. But when you go through those journeys, you realize that like there's no hard feelings with anybody you meet in this life.
Right.
People are here to teach you sometimes. They're here as the gatekeeper.
Right.
They're here to test you just to see, you know, it's just a little scrimmage just to see how if you learned your lessons or not.
Oh yeah.
Like that, those things, they come up in life, and you got to just know that it's all for your growth. And so with relationships and stuff like that, you just got to be willing to always move forward and just press on and keep your love in your life, you know, more personal. And when somebody really wants to be there, they're going to be there. We all know how to be there for people who we really want to be there for.
Of course. I see that 100%. And I know that you talked about like a couple of days ago, you talked about like a relationship and having like a box for it. And it's like, we both have to put into this relationship box because we don't come in with the relationship mindset. We just like explore it and don't even have like expectations or boundaries or whatever it is, the rules of the game of what this relationship should look like.
Right.
And I think that is a communication that you have from the get-go and start adding them into the bucket. And so that you guys who are dealing with people,
and that's what I think that she messed up at, because right there she should have had a private conversation with him in the house.
They didn't even live together for 4 years.
Exactly. You're not even living together.
It's crazy.
He's not gonna marry you. And I don't think
still lives at home.
I don't think you could have had a private conversation, but it's like she was so full of herself and she was so diluted.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, she got them a home because she's in real estate. Remember that she
wanted
proposed
to get a home.
Yeah, she proposed. When she proposed, they talked about the home that they were going to get.
She wanted to get a home.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, sounds great. Because he was just, you know, when somebody's interested in doing something and when they're not.
Right. Exactly, because they would have been involved in searching together.
He wasn't, And when she said, and we can get, you know, see enough space for our kids, he looked like,
what kids? Girl, you crazy.
No.
I'm not even on that level yet.
Right.
I'm still, like, first of all, if a man's still living at his mom's crib, he ain't ready to have no kids with you.
Right.
He's not.
But I think a lot of women just get excited and like, you know what? I'm just gonna make this man my dream man, and it's like he should already be your dream man.
Right.
You don't have to make him anything.
Right.
Snow White didn't have to make Prince Charming anything. No. He was already there. She didn't have to tell him, hey, come wake me up around this time. I'm gonna be in this part of the forest, and come kiss me. Right, she did none of that. He did all that. Let the man be a man, because then it becomes like, what are you even doing? Because you're never going to be satisfied. You're always going to be resentful. When you got to tell somebody to do something, it's not the same as them just doing it.
It's true. This is 100% facts.
When you do when you're not, like, when you do something that somebody doesn't expect you to do, it's like,
it feels so good.
Yeah. And even they feel it so good.
Even them
and you feel good doing it. And you're like, even if you're the one who's doing it,
the time
you're like,
to do it.
They're gonna be so happy. Like, I get so excited when I give people gifts. I love it because I'm like, you're gonna be so excited when you see this. And it's just like, because especially if they don't expect it, it's just like perfect. I love it.
It could be the simple thing as planning everything. Like we're gonna go see a concert tonight, or we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Right. I'm gonna get you this nice, beautiful gift. It's like it could be anything. It's just like the unexpected. Putting in, and then that's them putting it into the relationship. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you your props. You really putting in this. Like, people actually really put into the relationship when they really want to get involved in it.
I learned that. And I had to learn that.
Yeah, me too.
Somebody had to tell me that when you're getting a relationship, it's you, that person, and then there's the relationship. Yeah. And you both coming together saying, we're going to put in to this relationship. We're going to do what's best for this relationship. Right. You both have to be invested in the relationship. And that's the thing. People get in relationships where not both parties are invested in growing and maintaining this relationship. And so anything that you do, whether business, relationships, for anything, if you're not putting in the proper care, it's not gonna go nowhere.
Nowhere.
It's gonna, be messed up. It's gonna cause problems. It's
Right.
not gonna grow right.
No.
It's gonna die.
Right.
These things happen.
You need
and
to
people
water it.
act like that is not, the situations that are going on. And I know, and this is what's hard for women.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be rejected. That is not something that we are supposed to experience, because you was never supposed to put yourself in the position to be rejected. Men have that, and it builds their character and their ego. Women not experiencing much rejection means that she's more free and creative to do more things. She's less biased. She doesn't have like a harsh shell for reality to things that she wants to manifest. I know that may sound a little deep, but
no, I think it's beautiful.
Carry on.
Yeah. Carry on, please.
So with men, they need that personality boost. They need that ego boost. They need that, because they're out here supposed to be providing, protecting, securing. They are the stronger being between the both of you physically.
Yeah.
So they need to have that, outer shell on. Women, you don't need that. You do not need that. Know your position and thrive in it. And I hate that the modern feminist movement, because it like demonizes not having a shield on. And it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
To have like, it's like for women, it's like you have a spiritual shield. And for men, it's like you have a outer shield.
Right. I believe that.
A physical shield.
Yeah, definitely. But for some reason, it's like we don't have the patience, Isabel. They don't have, as women. I've learned, I've been in your shoes. I've been in that part where I wanted to be in control of things. But it's like, no, the control goes on both ends. There's different parts of a relationship.
There's different types of control.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, I feel like
women,
the
physical touch part.
When they try to put, women to go against each other and say there's one strong woman, there's a weak woman, there's this woman. And it's like each type of woman is playing her own game, is going at her own morals, is going at their own speed. Everybody's on their own exact journey. How people match up is how law of attraction, vibration, and all those laws match up with themselves.
Right.
So that's exactly what you're going to get. So at the end of the day, every experience for me is just a learning lesson, and something that you can either choose to stay in that energy or level up that energy, or maybe go down in energy, or do whatever it is that you need to do to make yourself happy. But I definitely noticed that like so much, like, hey, people are in your life for a reason and a season.
Right.
And
it could be temporary. Yeah, exactly. A season.
It could be a couple of seasons. It could be, but it's a season.
Right. It's usually a season.
It's some seasons. It's not forever. And you could be okay with it not being forever.
Right.
It doesn't have to not be forever. And that's what I mean by rejection, being okay with rejection.
Yeah.
And if you're a woman, probably not put yourself in to get more rejected.
Yeah.
Because it's not good for you. It doesn't make you better. It just makes you more insecure, which kind of messes up with your look.
Right.
You walk around with your head down. You don't feel as pretty as other people because you've experienced rejection too much, because you've done too many things to be rejected for.
And it's okay. It's like sometimes it's like we're so afraid to be like, that's not me. That's definitely not me. I'm definitely not that person.
Yes, Ibrahim says yes, ladies. It's true. Yeah,
it's true. It is true. And it's not a lie, because you can see it in their face. Like when someone says, I can see it in your face that you've been so rejected so many times that your mindset is just so low. And it's okay to be in that position, but you have to get out of it.
Yeah.
And you can't be like I said, being the one saying like, oh, that's not me. That's not me. Like, it's you.
Right.
It's you. It's the one that's saying that's not me. It's you.
Yeah.
Sweetie, it's you.
And I feel like, and then that's what when as you get older, because these are things not when I was in my 20s, I was thinking about.
No.
Now that I'm 30. So now I know, I feel like I know something.
Yeah.
But
you're a grown woman now. And your mindset.
Right. In my mindset, because I can't, fathom not changing from the person that I was 10 years ago. Right. Like I would hope that it would become better and more wiser.
Change is good.
And change is great.
Change is great.
And so I revel in that. And the decisions that I would make when I was younger, 90% of them I would not make.
Never.
I would not make. And younger, not even child ages, I'm talking about like
your 20s,
I would not make the same decisions. I would go at it completely different.
Yeah.
And that's why, now that I'm at the next decade of my life, and it's just like, hey, time for you to actually do those same things that you would have changed back then. Don't keep on doing what you don't like. Right. Don't keep on, manifesting what you don't actually want to experience.
But I think
go at it differently.
Right. I think that it's good that you actually, because the conversation I said that earlier, that this week that I said, there was times when I was in my 20s and whatever, my teens as well. Mostly it's been my teens that I'm actually going back into like, oh, I wish that never happened. But then I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be who I am today if that didn't happen. Right. So I'm actually okay with that process. I'd rather it happen then than it happen now. So
very true.
I'm excited about that because I know that the cycle goes like it's good and bad. Everything happens for a reason. So let that bad stuff go first.
You just gotta ride
and I'm gonna ride the wave to the good side.
You gotta ride the wave, and that's the truth. Like you literally gotta ride the wave. And I was reading this book that I'm reading, it blanks me with what it's called right now, but he was talking about how the same thing, like Henzie says, hi Henzie, it's been a while. Thanks. How you guys doing? We're good.
We're doing good. We're just realizing what we've been through in our lives.
Tawanda says, absolutely, yes, it's very true. And what he was saying basically was that when the same thing, like if you're in the ocean and you're caught in a riptide, if you try to, swim against it, that ocean is going to take you back. So when you're in that situation and the ocean's taking you back, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to stay calm. You're supposed to ride parallel to the beach, swim parallel to the beach, and eventually you're going to get out of the riptide. It's not going to drag you into the ocean. So that's the same thing when you go through ups and downs. Yeah, I will not go through that. But I almost went through that in Mexico.
Yes, you did.
So that actually could happen to anybody.
Right.
That actually is the analogy that I'm using, where it's just like, while everybody's life has ups and downs, as long as you know how to navigate through them, they're never fatal. They're never detrimental.
Nope.
They're just learning lessons. They're just something for you to get through.
I think so.
That's all it is.
Right. And my favorite term is like, did I die? Like, no, I'm still alive. Okay, cool.
Okay, well, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Everything.
Because you realize it's like, at the end of the day, if you're still alive, you're still in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, you didn't die yet. It's like, at the end of you ever play like Fortnite or something like that?
No, they don't.
It's like, you still in the game. It's like, okay, I know he broke your heart, but guess what? You still in the game. Did you die? Did you end up in like some bad...
And then you gotta think, did I make a kid with this person? Did I marry them? No. Did I do any of those things? Great. Woo! I have nothing to do with you. I can move on in my life. And remember, this is the thing I tell Isabel too when she dates some of these guys. You don't know them. Right. Remember that. In the beginning, you didn't know that person. So why are you sitting in there crying every night, making this painful decision in your mindset? Right. Remember from the beginning, I don't know this person. Right. This person doesn't exist because in the beginning I didn't know you, so I can erase you. Okay, all that experience was an experience, and you don't need to be here no more. So erase.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like you can also think of it as everybody's on their own journey, right? And you got to know it's not personal. And I think a lot of what people go through with other people, we got to realize most of it is not personal. People go through their own inner battles and project it out in different ways. And you just going to be on the side of it. Even like the way somebody acts like they love you, you got to even know that's how deep they can love themselves. Like the way, like all of these all of it is really not personal, and people really just open up and tell you a story about themselves without even telling you. And you could really just see a whole person's whole life through the decisions that they make about everything.
It's true.
And it's like, you need to, like, I've seen that so much. It's just like when people would say the situations that they've gone through, and it's just like the main repetitive
I'm like, you know, you put yourself there, right?
Right. It's like, you like this is how you like it. They're like,
why
no,
I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
It's like, yeah, you do. You're actually comfortable in that. Because you continue each time your conversation is the same. This is actually something you enjoy. And they're like, no, I don't. And I'm like, stop.
Right.
Because if you was watching it on a TV show, you would have been like, that person is insane. Like, you're actually doing the same, you're mimicking the same character. So,
and I think that's what it is a lot of the time. People are just kind of mimicking characters. Women sometimes don't even know how to act. They just act like reality TV show girls. Right. I'm like, people are actually doing like crazy things, like fighting. Like, I feel like if you're past a certain age, like adolescence, you should never be fighting in any situation. No. Nobody should get you mad enough that you need to put your hands on them, or you haven't grown as an adult.
Yeah.
You haven't grown as a being, that you realize that you have other motives to get your point across, to get, you know, whatever you feel off your chest, that you don't have to physically hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Or put your hands on somebody, and or, you know, break that person's property, or do anything that's going to, you know, affect them in a negative way. You can be calm and accept that you don't agree with somebody, and that this doesn't, you know,
it's 100% true.
Work for you, without you reacting like a child and going crazy.
There's
and, you know,
immature women
in the
out
process.
there.
It's very weird.
There's real immature women out there, and
100%.
You know, that are really. I'm just really shocked at the things that you ladies do out there.
Yeah,
you're literally taking your car keys, scraping men's cars. This
stabbing tires,
because he's cheating on you. You're breaking his stuff. You're doing all that stuff. You're staying in their house when they're telling you to leave. You're doing crazy stuff.
That was a new one.
That was a new one.
When I heard that one, I was like, okay, well, you know what? You like that.
Like, you're toxic.
You're toxic. And I had to just say that if you're attracting anybody like that, you yourself have to look in the mirror and say, I'm toxic.
And you're like, when was I ever toxic?
You're toxic.
No, you're toxic.
You're toxic.
Because if you were not toxic, you would be with a calm person that would never do anything to hurt you.
Yeah. You would not be with somebody who would put you in the position.
Because guess what? There's a sign called red flags.
Yes.
You got to catch them in the beginning. It started from the beginning. It's called red flags.
Right.
And you're like, oh, no, it's not a red flag. That's something about them. They can change that. No, honey, that red flag is going to stay the whole relationship. That red
flag is the red flag for you to say, hey, are you going to accept this? It's not, oh, hey, maybe this is this. No, it's saying this is what it is. Are you going to accept it? And you say, okay, I'll take it. And it's like, no, first of all, I'm not collecting no red flags unless you started collecting some on mine. Like, did you collect what red flags do you see from me? Like, did I throw up any and you decided to accept them? Well, let's talk about this red flag. We got to have a discussion on whether I'm going to accept it or not. Like, we have to approach things.
Stop being scared.
Yeah, with real common sense.
If you're boss, like, people work, right? People work. A lot of people work. So when you have your annual review, that's what it's called, right? They have the annual review. They take you in the office and they say, hey, I've been watching you this whole time you've been working, and this is some stuff I think that you need to work on. And you sit there and you work on them. Why do we not go out and live our life
for their
like
annual
a business
review? They go to have dinner at a fancy restaurant for an anniversary. No. And it's like, okay, we can do that after we have a meeting. Yeah. Because we need to decide where this relationship is going, what we're trying to build for the next year moving forward. Because we want a successful relationship. We want a successful family. We want a success. Like, what is it you're trying to create? What is it that you're trying to manifest? Because you know, if you go anything like halfway, if you just, you know, only give your whatever and we'll sees and stuff like that. Like, are you kidding me? Like, people really go into this relationships and say, well, we'll just see where things go. And it's like, okay, so we'll see. So you're gonna just, you know,
waste more years.
I don't see no doctor or anybody, you know, saying we'll see with his career. No, he's going all in. I don't see any, you know, lawyers or basketball players or anybody being like, we'll see, I'm not going to practice, we'll just see what happens on the court. I don't think so.
No.
So why are we going we'll see to our relationship? Why are we accepting friends with benefits? Why are we having children with people that don't want children with us because they don't want why are we having children with people who don't want families with us? That is the big thing. It's like with a lot of women, and this is not a color thing, it's not it's literally a lot of women are deciding to have children without family, and that's weird because that doesn't make a happy home no matter what the situation is. And I kind of wanted to bring up I was watching one of the clips for it was just conversation that was going on Instagram. Oh, make sure you guys are following us on Instagram. Nothing's Wrong podcast. With I wouldn't be able to find it, so don't try.
I'm not. Go.
And
she's always
anytime this girl tries to do it, I'm like, girl, I can't.
Go ahead.
See, I get distracted.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Worry about what you're saying. I'll just stop doing it.
I'm like, what are you doing? Latoya says, never thought of the we'll see that way. Yeah, exactly. Because the we'll see kind of makes you think like, oh, we're going to go somewhere. And it's just like, no, I need to know where we're going.
Yeah.
Like,
it's important.
You a lot of the times your most important decisions that you make, you never sit there and say we'll see. You be like, okay, what's gonna go on here? You're not gonna go into a job and be like, what are you gonna pay me? Well, we'll see what they give me on the check. Like, no, you already calculated what everything was gonna be before you accepted it, or you're not gonna get a good hand. Like,
and that's what, because women are very lovely. We love people, we accept things, even friends. We do the same thing. We do the we'll see with them too. We give everybody a chance, but it's time for us to, like, as we get older, it's like, how many time is ticking, sweetie? DMX done died. Everybody done, everybody dying right now. And so it's like, why are we sitting here just experiencing our life and not actually making it meaningful? That's, as an adult, that's how you carry yourself. And I think that it's because, and I don't want to talk about parents, but like, I think your thing was about parents, but it's like, sometimes there was certain things that we were missing in school, in our parents, and we just go life with the information we think we know. But it's like, nah, we can't do that as we get older, as we want better for ourselves, as we want to be more successful in everything that we do. We actually have to take the time to learn and see what we were missing so that we can go ahead and create that for ourselves. So we don't look for it in a man, we don't look for it in a father, we don't look for it in nobody but ourselves, because sometimes we have to take that route of doing it ourselves, but not in a masculine way, in a feminine, beautiful way, in a way that makes it happier and rejoiceful for yourself.
A way that's comfortable for you. It doesn't even have to be labeled masculine or feminine. It's labeled as whatever you creatively want to experience it as, and not using what social media tells you it's supposed to be. And I feel like exactly what you're saying, like, you got to give yourself those attributes that you're missing. If you know, like, hey, I'm not that well spoken, I need to go and figure out what speech classes I need to take, what English classes I need to go take. People do this all the time. Or they're like, hey, I need to go learn a different language. I'm going to, invest money and time. I need to learn about finances and stock. I'm going to invest money and time. I need to, like, people do that. So, and now that it's 2021, internet, all this at our hands, at our fingertips, we can get all this information. What are you doing? Latwanda. Sorry, girl. I was saying your name the wrong way.
She can't see. I think it's because of the lights.
I know. It's like so bright. She says, so true. I was rough. Yeah. And
we
all know that like we have these rough edges, but we can round them out. We can refine ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have that ability. It's just the investment in yourself. You always have to invest in self. You need to know like, hey, what's for my betterment? And I think a lot of the problem that I see now is because people do things that influence tell them to do, or things that they think are supposed to make them happy. But it's like, no, what would really, really, really make you happy? And for a lot of people, it's for their finances or something that has to do with their critical living has to be fixed. Whether it's like, I need a relationship, I need more finances, I need, my kids to be doing whatever that real thing that would probably switch on a different you. That is the focus that you need to go tap into, because fixing that, repairing that part of your life turns you into a completely different person.
If anybody asked you for a gift, that would be the first gift. People would be like, I want some shoes. I want I want purses. I want
oh, that's how you say it. Okay, great. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, like I want the latest purses that came out, the high end, because everybody in the world is wearing Birkins. I want a Birkin. Let me get a Birkin. Let me get a Lamborghini. Let me get a Rolls Royce. Let me get all this stuff. But then you're like, hold on. But what was really for you personally? That inside thing that ticks you off when you get upset and you're like, dang, I wish I had that. Right. And it's like that materialistic thing, it's going to come. Focus on you first. I know we live in a materialistic world and a lot of people getting invested in their bodies because a lot of women don't want to go out there and go work out or find a sport that kind of gets them in shape. They want to just go, I'm going to hit up surgery. I'm going to go get surgery. Right. Hazel E just got surgery and she's having complications where she might die. And she questioning herself, is this what Kanye's mom had to go through? And did she have support for that? And it's because this social media, that Instagram looking lifestyle, is got y'all messed up. And it's not real life. Like these girls with those body, they're so low graded, no mindset type of women. And I'm being honest. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, she's so cute. She has what it takes to be like, I like her style a little bit, but her mindset is wrong. Right. And that's the problem, ladies. You ladies look good, but your mind, you couldn't even keep up with a conversation with men who actually don't play games. They're actually serious. They don't need you to be playing around and stuff like that. They're not here playing with you. Yeah.
Latwanda says, I'm definitely in that part of my life and I love it. Right. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is because when women go through that in their life, and it's like when we get there, we get into our Empress Goddess energy and we're like, oh, yeah, this is how the world works. Right. And this is how it revolves around me. Yeah. And it does revolve around you. But you have to make the right decisions to make sure that what you have revolving around you is what you want.
Right.
And that's what you were saying right there. It's just like all of these things that we keep on taking in our lives, it's not even what we want.
It's not even worth it. And it's so easy because you can say it right now and do it. It's easy, but it's the commitment that is the problem.
Right. And like you said, like with the surgery thing, and when I go on vacation, when I'm out and stuff like that, this is the main thing. It's like, I know everybody has like aspirations and dreams to look like a certain way and all that stuff. And that's cool. And that's great. Yeah. But I really feel like the best looking you're going to be is however you naturally slim out and flex out to be. Once you start alter, you give yourself health complications, and these surgeries haven't been around long enough for you. You are the test subject. Yeah. The BBL, that is the most deadliest surgery that some plastic surgeons don't even do it, because one wrong move, they can inject the fat into a vessel and boom, go straight to your brain and it's done. People have died on the table. It's not worth it. It's not worth it when you can just slim down. And I'm telling you, going out the country, seeing how everybody has a body. I mean, one of the best places like Barcelona, the women there are naturally just so beautiful and their bodies are just very, very nice. If you go to Spain, I actually really like the way the women look there. they're so natural. And I understand when men say, I like when my woman, like, you know, natural. And then the guys who actually end up dating the women who are more plastic and fake,
I don't think they enjoy that. First of all,
the guy is usually not the type of guy who you want to even date.
First of all, that guy
himself is brainwashed into the social media because it's a whole attraction thing. The what you are is what you attract. Right. Latwanda says, sorry, I can't see. I'm glad I'm scared of it, but I hear a queen saying she wants the surgeries. I would definitely try asking why the fast way they still after the work to keep the results. Right. And the fast way is like you don't get anything like the positive effects of doing it the longer way, the better way, the tortoise way. It's like when you actually have the dedication to go to the gym and you're slowly building strength and building up your body and getting yourself to where you're at, it's not just becomes a physical thing. It becomes a whole confidence mindset change. You ever see guys who lift like they were skinny and they lift weights and they become super confident and cocky and all that because they did something.
They did the work
that built them mentally and physically. That's why all the girls who got the bodies, they insecure. I've seen it. I like living in LA. I'm like, how are there so many girls who invested in their faces? And you so insecure.
Yeah. Even the ones with the big lips. I'm like, you want all that attention, but you're not even keeping it up. They can't even take the heat because they themselves didn't go out and work for it, like you said. And so it's like, and then they're always questioning because they'll have a good friend that's like, does my butt look weird? How does my boob look? Like, you know, it's like they're always questioning someone to respond for them because they're insecure and they don't like it, but they want to make sure that the world doesn't see that they don't like it. It's just like a weird thing.
Because there's a lot of health complications. And that's the thing, like there, especially with the breast implants. And I was somebody who was interested in getting breast implants because I was like, okay, I would do that, you know, after I have kids and stuff like that. I would definitely like invest into that mommy makeover. But then even seeing now how many breast implant illnesses cases that there are, it's like that's not even worth it. People losing their can't catch their breath. People can't, you know, there's a lot of complications for elective surgery. And it's like if it's elective, I don't really see a point in it. And I think that your most natural self will get you the best result.
And you're going to be so shocked what your body look like. And I know you were just saying because like I've always had a shape and I'm slimming more down. And so I'm happy about that. And soon I'm going to be super skinny. You're going to be like, who's this? Over. I'm a new human being now.
Right.
But yeah, you were talking about you because you just turned 30 and you're like, wow, I love my 30 like body because it's like a little more thicker. It's like, wow,
more shapely.
Yeah. It's like, let yourself grow to what it needs to be.
Exactly.
And be happy with that. Live in your comfort zone. And if you're not happy about what you look like, be okay to make a change. Because a lot of people make changes when things get dangerous. And that's horrible. It's like, why did you have to wait until you had a health problem for you to lose the weight? Because you know, you have no choice but to eat good because you're like, I'm going to die if I don't. But it's like, still,
you were still going to die if you don't. It's like, you're still going to die.
Like, do something that like,
love yourself.
Yes.
Love yourself. That's all. Thing. That's the only thing that I ask of everybody is like, actually love yourself.
And give yourself a real shot. That's like, if you went to a job interview, you're going to do everything in your power to get this job. So do the same for yourself.
If you were and when you're on the job, you're going to do everything on your power to keep your job. Yeah. You're going to do all the work. Everything. This is what entrepreneurship is important for people to realize that you do have to become an entrepreneur because you work so hard for other people. That's an insult to yourself. I don't mind working for other people while you build yourself. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. But you're supposed to eventually turn that into something that you yourself have to manage and then produce and give the upper hand. This is why in the workforce, they don't cater to the older people. They cater to the younger people.
That's why they're there to
just come up, learn what they need to learn, and create their own business, and then do the same thing on and on and on. But they gave us this fake dream of, retire when you get such and such age, doing, this office career. You're not gonna make it that far.
No,
that's not the reality.
No,
the reality is you here for your come up, get your money, and then when you have your free time, you go make your master plan, and you go figure out where you want your life to be going,
right? And there's
who
so
you
many
want in your life,
ways.
and what kind of person you are that you're attracting, and who take all the responsibility in your hands, so then you can say at the end of the day, I did what I know that I could do, my part, my actions, and I let the rest be up to the universe, to God, to whoever you believe, Allah. I leave it up to that. And I can move on knowing every time I go to bed that day I did what I had to do to make what I want to manifest come true. So whether it's like, oh, I want a husband and I don't have no prospects in town, then I made sure I created some prospects. I joined a new group that I knew more men that were the kind of men that I wanted to date were in there. I went to a restaurant, sat at the bar, talked to some people. I sparked up conversation, and I did all the little things I could do to show the universe that I'm interested in dating men. You got to do those things.
It's important, and you got to know what the man not look like, because it's not a look thing, because you have to really show yourself that this is the relationship, like the nitty gritty of what it looks like, so that when you expect. I've seen it so many times where women was like, wow, I manifested this man. Like, I can't believe that this is my husband, my dream man, and all that stuff like that. It is true, because that person sat there, took the time to really get into detail of what their relationship's going to look like, what their man's going to do for them, how he's going to treat her, or all this stuff. Like, take the time to select your choices, because if you're just accepting the man that just took a look at you and said, you look good, can I get your number? And then you deal with him because you don't have much options. No.
Right.
Go out, like Isabel said, go. This is where, if someone tells that, I went to a place where I know that I'm only going to accept a man who lives in this area,
right?
Or who drives this kind of car, who makes this kind of money, who lives this kind of career. I started this when I first moved to LA.
These kind of activities.
Yeah, I did that.
Who's interested in these kind of things?
Exactly.
Who takes this kind of passionately?
Right.
Who eats in these type of restaurants?
Right.
Who frequents in these kind of places?
You got to be in that area. You got to do that.
LaTwanda says, "You are what you attract."
And you can also attract what you want too.
Yeah, she said I said that backwards. You attract what you are. That is the biggest part. That's the part that I think that we need to remember more. Yes, we know you are what you attract, but then it's like, but what you're attract, that's you. That's you. The mirror is two ways. That's the scary thing when you're in the mirror and they start waving back to you. It's like, there's two people going on here. There's two realities.
That's why I talk to myself in the mirror, because it was like another person speaking to me. I was like, okay, sis, telling me the truth.
There's more. You have to take responsibility. Because nobody else cares about your progression and your betterment. Nobody cares if you get married. Nobody cares.
They would love for you
if you start making $1 million a year. Nobody cares. Mean they're invested in you doing that, and they want to see that 100%. And they wake up every morning
to make sure you do it.
To make sure that you. Nobody's doing that for you. And if you do have somebody doing that for you, you would have already been there. This is why men get wives that are encouraging and loving, because their wives help them and inspire them to go and become very successful.
But not the ones that just take their opinion, their first one. No, honey, I don't think I can do it this week. Okay, well, that's fine. No, honey, I believe in you. You're going to do it this week, and you know how to do it. I know that you did it last time, and you're going to do a great job, and I believe in you.
Inspiring.
And guess what? He's like, you know what? I'm going to go out and do it. And he's doing it all night, all day, every day.
Right.
Good job, baby. Look at you. Go ahead. Yeah.
I love inspiring men to go out and be more manly and go and show me just what kind of man you are, and
why man you're willing to be.
Why not? I think men love to perform in that way. I think that
they, especially if you're out there encouraging them, being their cheerleader.
But what are you to attract that kind of man? Who are you to even be something that he would have considered? Because the thing about it is that women seem to forget is that the kind of man that a lot of women say that they want, he does not want a woman who doesn't match that same aesthetic. If you want a man that's responsible, this and that and all that stuff, and you know, it has a calm demeanor and loves, you can't be rowdy, shake them down, can't get yourself together, having dramatic breakdowns every 2 seconds type of woman. You yourself have to be playing at a caliber where he's like, I'm not questioning if I want to be with her. I've never met a woman like her. She's so in sync to where we're like this. I want to be in a team with her. I want to be in a partnership with her. She makes my life more enjoyable, more inspiring. I got better ideas. I've never experienced life this way without her. You know, I love to do that with people. I love to give them experiences. Like when I hang out with people, it's always an experience. I don't know. I don't plan it. I just know that that's my energy. And if you're around me, we're going to have the greatest time ever. If you know, we're in LA, so if you like to see celebrities, we'll see a celebrity that night. We'll hang out. We'll put you close enough where it's going to, no planning on our part. It's just 100%. How it always happens. No matter what. Oh, we'll just randomly pick this night to go to this random place, and that would be the best night to go. Or, you know, like, oh, let's go out the country and go to this place. And you go, and it's like the best weekend experience to go. And it was like, these things happen. Why? Because that's the energy I give out to people. That's how you're supposed, that's you being in your feminine. That's you saying, you know what? I'm putting forth in inspiring energy. I've changed people, me and you both changed people's lives where they changed their career after just hanging out and like realizing and having a deeper conversation to what they wanted and what they wanted to do in their life.
Because we don't play around. The thing about it is that I love about us is that we don't actually play around with our lives. We actually take the time to like question ourselves. If we're ever in a part where we're just like arguing, this is the type of family we're in. It's like, okay, no one's going to bed without clearing this air. We're going to talk about it. We're going to think. And then also the good part of us is like, we always have a good time, no matter if it's just our family. We have a good time with them. They're like, wow, this is the best night I've ever had. And we're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, it's just like
it's just like okay. And then you go out with your friends and like your friends are coming new to town or whatever. They've been to LA multiple times, and then when they hang out with you, and they're like, "Whoa, I've never experienced LA like this."
And then like low key, I'm like, I don't see it. Let's just hang out and have a good. It happens.
It's just I love living my life because I know every day is a different day. And every day is going to be exciting.
That's exactly what I realized when I first moved here. Not even like within the first 2 years, I feel like nonstop, those experiences would not stop happening because I was in the scene. So I just kept on having like great experiences and like crazy things was happening. And then I realized like, if you can do that, how about you use this power a little more responsibly and make it work for you in different ways, not just in this
going out
having fun way. How about you use this power in, you know, your life way and kind of create something like sustainable and foundational and something that you can build on. Use that energy of creating in that way. And that is when you realize like, wow, how was I using my power? How was I using my intellect? Women are freaking detectives. How are you using your intuition? And really, it's your intuition. And I realized that, like, as well, like 2 years ago, when I was dating somebody else, and everything about this person, it was like my intuition was right on, to the point that when I doubted myself in the beginning, because you know in the beginning when your intuition tells you something, you doubt it, and then when it came to fruition, I was like, okay, I'm not going to doubt it anymore. And every single time it was on. To this day, it's on, and I was like, I'm freaking psychic. No, like women certain things if my heart is connected to it,
yeah,
I will see what it is that I need to see. It's not even like what it is you're trying to hide from me. What it doesn't even matter.
You can't
about
hide
that.
nothing from me.
It's about what it is I need to see.
Yeah.
Not nothing to do. It's never personal.
Yeah.
That's what I've taken. Is like when I see into, I don't want to make it sound creepy, like I'm seeing into people's lives, but when I do see certain things that are like fruition for me, I always take it as that was a lesson that I had to learn about myself, because you got to remember, you came here by yourself. We're accompanied by other people. We're relatives to other people, but we still came in this world by ourselves. And your mind, you sleep, you with yourselves. When you in your brain and you go on a bed and you dreaming, you're with yourself in there. You're talking to yourself in there.
Yes.
This whole thought process I'm going through with myself. Even though I'm talking to y'all right now, talking to myself. Tawanda says we have to stop ignoring our inner spirit.
Yes, we do need to stop ignoring our inner spirit. That is right, because we don't even know it's our, like, I know it's my inner spirit, you know it's your inner spirit, but people don't take those things seriously. They literally living in this body, not thinking like, hey, I got to keep this thing healthy for it to keep on moving. Right. It's like a computer or a car wash. Like, you got to clean it out. Like, you got to start cleaning out everything that's yourself.
But it sounds so crazy. Like, because when it was like, you would do that to your own kid. Like, love yourself. You don't love yourself. Like, actually, when people, like you said, when people eat bad, when people really don't, like, go and spend the extra money and get the organic, or go out of their way and make sure that they had, or got their greens in, like, no matter if you ate like crap, you balanced it out and you did do a whole green smoothie or something, like actually implement certain things that show you do love yourself, that you don't hate yourself completely. Yeah. We do that by showering, by making our bed, by cleaning our houses, that we're not going to live in swill and pity and disgustingness. We're going to, love ourselves, where we're going to, give ourselves the best home, live in the best neighborhood. Do love yourself. Right.
Take the time to love yourself.
And I know it's hard because it's so easy to not love yourself. It's so easy to
want to give it to somebody else,
and you want to love other people. And it's so easy because then you don't have to do what it takes, and you could blame the other person if it doesn't work out. But if it doesn't work out with yourself, who are you going to blame? And how wouldn't loving yourself work out for yourself? How wouldn't working out every day work out for you? Right. How wouldn't cutting something off with a guy that doesn't want the same thing as you not work out for you in the long run?
Even if they the problem is because the men manipulate the women to say, you know what, I do want this. And it's like, no, you don't. Right. They're like, no, I want this. I want to work this out. I'm just not ready.
There's no such thing. But I'm ready. Right. So do I wait for you? Why would I wait for you?
I don't care. Ladies, it's like they take the time to wait and see what happens. Oh, I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna experience this, and hopefully it works out for the best of us. It's like, no.
LaTwanda says, "Woo, child, preach."
All right. Wow, we're taking it to church tonight. Make sure you're hitting the love and the share and letting your girls and your boys know you're here.
Okay. But that's, what it is. And at the end of the day, you really have to be real with yourself and say, am I loving myself in this moment? Am I giving my all to myself? And I had to really ask myself these questions. I remember when I was working at places that I knew, once I realized I wasn't valued at work, that was my thing. I always left. Anytime that I felt like, I tried to get a promotion or something, wasn't working in my favor, I always addressed it. And when it didn't change, I was out. And sometimes I didn't even want to address it because the bigger problem was me working there rather than, what I wasn't liking there. So I left the situation. And that is love for myself. And I'm not scared to go out and live life. There's so much more to do. Right. When you travel enough around the world and you see how there's so many people living different lives, you realize there's so many people out here. There's so many opportunity. There's so many ways to go at things. I can literally get up and move and change my name and become somebody completely different. Change my hair and become somebody completely different tomorrow. I have the ability and the right to do that.
You do have the right.
So if somebody's not giving you what you want, aka yourself, if you're not giving what you want to yourself, then you need to sit down and have that real conversation
with yourself. Record yourself. Take the mirror, sit the chair down. You can start off slow. Take your time with yourself, but get it done.
Right. Latwanda says it's for the other person's benefit. Right.
Always. That's why we say on our show, it's like, it's no longer on that route no more. It's like, nope, does it benefit us?
Right.
First, if we're not being benefited, I don't think the conversation should go any more longer. I don't need to waste no more time. I don't need to waste no more years. We've already have experience as childs, as teenagers, as young 20-year-olds. As you get to 30, 40, there's no more excuses. These men, these women, they can't waste your time anymore. There's no 3 weeks for me. It was like literally 1 week. If it's not going right for me, I see the red flags and I'm done. There's not months. There's no years. It's done.
Right.
And it's real conversation.
When you see things, you see a red flag, you talk about it. If it's not something that's
like
negotiable,
you said at work,
don't move forward with it.
No.
It doesn't line up together.
And it's okay.
Right.
Like, you got to understand that it's not personal for that person or
for you.
Right.
It's not,
First
it
of all,
shouldn't be personal.
Benefit both of us. If it don't benefit you, it don't benefit me. It's not, it benefits you and it doesn't benefit me. No, it doesn't work that way. How can it
start to benefit me?
It don't work.
And if that person is not willing to negotiate to make it benefit you, then guess what? It's just not going to work out.
It's not worth it.
And it's fine.
Yes.
And the most beautiful thing we can learn is that everybody is on their own journey.
Right.
And everybody's making mistakes and figuring it out. So the best thing you could do for yourself is say, I'm here experiencing this person, learning from this person, taking in the experience. And if this person wants to continue on with me, I will definitely know, and there won't be any questions. There wouldn't be even any time included in it. And we wouldn't be sitting there saying, it's been 1 year and 5 days, and you still haven't popped the question from our last conversation. No, you wouldn't even be in that. That person will definitely know what they want to do with you, and you definitely will know what you want to do with them. And that is the most clearest thing possible.
But what if that person, I want to get on the side of the opposite. What if that person is like, maybe they may not be financially there yet, or maybe they may not.
Then that person needs to let you know
they need
that they need to go and focus on their finances and what they want to create in this world, and they're not in the position to be in a relationship. I believe in men taking the responsible route and saying, I just want something where it's casual. I can't be in a relationship right now because I'm building myself. And blah, 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 blah. I've seen men say that
all the time.
Yeah. So I think being very clear is a very mature thing. When he's ready and is stable enough, he always goes into the relationship. I think it's women who have a problem with that, and they seem to, think that he's going to change their mind, and they want to waste time with him instead of going to be with somebody who's actually ready. It's the woman who keeps on making these choices.
Like, sometimes you got to grab them by the ear. Like, do you see what you're doing? It's like, they don't want to be here.
That's it. Let it go. Right. You gotta just let it go. Thank you for your services.
Yeah.
And move on. Fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. We had a great time. I loved the gifts, the jewelry, the love, the life, the experience. I loved it all. It was great. It made me grow. Everybody loved it. I can move forward now. Okay. And guess what I move forward with? The memory and the knowledge of what I want and what I don't want.
Exactly.
And then I can do better in creating what I do want. And by doing that, then the next person you give the opportunity to, and they give that opportunity to you, you're able to not make the same mistakes you've made. This is all sharpening up who you are. So then by the time you get to your rightful man, if you're in your 20s, if you're younger, if you get to the rightful man or woman who you're supposed to be with, you're well-rounded,
and it's never too late. I know you're giving it the props that suggestions to a younger woman, but even being an older woman, you could be in your it doesn't matter. It's like you didn't learn yet. That's why you keep experiencing the same guys and the same experiences all the time. It's because you still never learned. And you never learned to say, okay, that's just something I need to implement now. It's like, I've seen the sign, you know what it looks like, so it's just like you don't want that. Crazy. And you told that
definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. A lot of these women are crazy.
That's what I've seen.
They're insane. But a lot of them.
But you can change being
and
crazy.
And a lot of men are as well. And you can definitely change being crazy. We can all go in and out of crazy. But you got to be smart with your crazy. You got to use your crazy when it works for you. I'm not telling you not to be crazy. I'm definitely crazy. But I make it work for me. Bring your brain with your crazy. Don't just be crazy all willy-nilly with your heart. Don't do that. Bring your crazy with your brain, not your crazy with your heart.
Yes.
That's how you play crazy. Right. Play crazy. When it's your heart, you can't play. You got to play crazy. I'm just giving y'all crazy info. Since y'all want to know the game, like there's a way to finesse everything. You can be crazy. You can act like that. But if you're not doing it through a logical, mindful state, you messing yourself up with that crazy.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I think it's past our bedtime. We've been talking so much, and I really enjoyed everybody tuning in and really hearing that information, and all the new people that I just seen too. Latwanda, thank you so much for being involved tonight, girl. We love when people are involved and they like the conversation and they, welcome to the family.
Right.
Make sure you're hitting that subscribe and like button as you were on Spotify, the conversation. Yeah, we love that. And also, if you would like to support us, go ahead and do all of that, and also hit up our Cash App. It is $Nothing's Wrong Pod. And
and I definitely want to say, like, since the conversation was about, are you exploring your options? And it's like, with your own options, you have to be able to give yourselves these options. You are responsible for yourself and what you create in this life. Latwanda says, thanks for this platform. Oh, girl, you're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, you're responsible for what you want out of this life. So if you're willing to do what it takes to love yourself, give yourself all of the things that you really want, whatever that is, there's something that you can do. You need to start reading. You need to start loving. You need to start caring about yourself.
And be a little more calm. Ladies, let's start talking with a gentle voice, because the way we speak sometimes, it can scare a man off. It can scare people at your job.
Scare you off.
And it can scare you off. And you wonder why people are just running from you.
Because you scare yourself.
Be a little more calmer when your conversations, when you talk low, talk in an even tone where people can really understand you. Because I've been going out and I've been seeing these LA girls, and y'all are loud and rowdy and weird. And I'm like, you're so beautiful. Why are you talking like this?
Why are you so weird?
Yeah, you don't.
But it's okay to be weird, guys, because you know what? This is Nothing's Wrong podcast, and we some weird people.
Yeah.
So thank you guys again, and always remember, if you even want to be weird, it's okay. Because guess what? Nothing's wrong. Bye, guys.
See you next.
Oh, that's hot.